well. Somebody told me to keep recording. So let's start with the first point here. I've just shared a Padlet with you. This is a screen. It's like a whiteboard where you can write anything you want. What I want all of you to do is go to this link. I'm copying this link and putting it in the group chat. I want everybody in today's class to go to this, to click the link. You will come up to this page. And on this page, I want you to write down what is your research topic. I can see people writing already. Write your name, write your research topic, and also write what is your proposed method you're going to use to do your topic. Now to do this, you can either double click on the screen like this, tick, tick, it'll open up. So you write down your name, you can explain. Or you can click this plus button in the corner. You just click the plus button, write down your name, and explain about your topic and whatever you want to do, and then enter. Please don't put lines and everything on my paper. Huh? You can just use double click or use this plus button and just write down. Okay, Lena, doctoral thesis is 100,000 words. Thank you, Lena, for sharing with me. I'll share it with everybody else as well.
You're welcome. I just found it, so sent to you.
Thank you. So master's by research is 50 to 60,000 and doctoral is around 100,000 words. So everybody, please keep doing this. What is your research topic? Your name, your research topic, your proposed method. You keep doing this while I start my presentation, and then I will revisit this page and I will see your answers. Okay. Coming back to my presentation. Now I'll start my presentation for today. Again, let me repeat myself. Guys, I am the module leader for this topic. I'm going to teach you this topic. If you have any questions, you need to stop me in between. Please do not don't be shy. I see many times, you know, especially this is our Asian culture as well. Not just, I'll not say Indian or Chinese or Malay, it's an Asian culture. We are usually told to be quiet in class. I don't believe in that style of learning. I want you to talk. I want you to ask questions. And when you ask questions, when I give you an answer, trust me, there is many other people who have the same question, but they're shy to ask. So when you ask a question, you help other people in your class also learn. So don't be shy, just stop me in between, switch on your mic and ask a question, or you can write in the group chat also. All right, so let's start with the introduction with today's chapter, qualitative data analysis. So in today's topic, we will learn the nature and the spectrum of qualitative research. We will understand who is a qualitative researcher. We will understand the paradigmatic tenets of qualitative research. What are different paradigms? What do we believe in? What do we as qualitative researchers believe in? And we'll also have an overview of the different paradigms and the difference between qualitative paradigms and quantitative paradigms. What's the difference? What's the philosophy? What's the difference in way how we think compared to what quantitative lecturers think? So we will do that. So basic notions, all of you know that there are two main approaches to research. There's qualitative research, there's quantitative research. There are also some researchers who do a blended kind of research, which is called mixed methods. But again, it's mixed method. It's not mixed research. A person is either a qualitative researcher or a quantitative researcher. You come from different paradigms. Nobody is in both the paradigms. You are either in this paradigm or that paradigm. So we will study about paradigms, and then we'll study about research methods. And somebody who does a mixed method is not somewhere in the middle. He comes from a qualitative thinking, or he comes from a quantitative thinking, but he's trying to employ something from another method, and he's doing it as mixed methods together. So your background or your thinking is either qualitative way of thinking or quantitative way of thinking. For people who are starting qualitative research, I wanted to ask a question about what's the difference between the two, but I'll not do that. We'll go ahead. Basically, quantitative data analysis, which Dr. Rupam is doing, my colleague is doing, it involves numerical data. It involves large number of cases. Quantitative research is all about finding out how many people are doing something. But qualitative people, usually we figure out why those people are doing something. So quantitative is all numerical data. They need a lot of surveys to be done. Only then they can do SPSS, and they can generalize their answer based on the number of cases they've received, 200, 300, 500. Based on those survey cases, they will generalize their answers. And they do survey questionnaires. They do data from secondary data sources, government surveys, government census, etc. They get data, lots of data from there, and then they analyze the data. On the other hand, qualitative researchers like us, we do not involve numerical data. We research on small number of cases, but when we do small number of cases, we go in depth. We don't find out, for example, I'm wearing a black t-shirt. So I don't go and find out how many people like black t-shirt. And then in Malaysia, 80% of the people love black t-shirt, because I researched 500 people and I found out of 500, 80% love a black t-shirt. That's quantitative research. In qualitative research, we find out why are people in Malaysia choosing a black t-shirt? What is the reasons for them to choose black t-shirt? And then when we ask questions, we don't generalize. We ask because we believe that every human being is different. We are all human beings. We are all Homo sapiens. We are all the same species by DNA. But as human beings, as a social animal, we are different. We all come from different parts of the world, and we all see the world differently. I may choose something because of a different reason. You may choose the same thing because of a completely different reason. So qualitative researchers really go in detail with a few number of cases, but we spend a lot of time with those few people. For a PhD, you may interview, let's say, 10, 20, 30 people only. A quantitative person may do survey with 1,000 people or 500 people. He will find out how many people do something. We will find out why are those people doing something. In another way, what we say is we don't generalize stuff. We create new data. We create new theory. We go into a small population, peel the outer layers, become friends with those people. There's a gap between a researcher and the researched. We break that gap, become one with that person. We become, sometimes, that's called participant observation. You become the respondent. you become who they are. You come very close to them until they start sharing things with you, just like they are sharing things with their family. So then you get the real essence of what people do and why they do it. And then we create new theories that people in Malaysia do wear black t-shirt because of A, B, C, D, E. I found out these 5 reasons. So we qualitative researchers create theory. And then on the other hand, quantitative researchers will test this theory with the market. They will say, according to a research by Mayukh 2020, the reason why Malaysians wear black t-shirt is A, B, C, D, E. I want to check out whether this hypothesis is correct. So they will take these theories, my data which I found out, and then they will go in the market and test it with Thailand or Singapore or other country. And they will say that I tested 1,000 people and I found out whether the hypothesis is correct, it's not correct. So that's the basic difference between qualitative and quantitative. Ours is more informal. Qualitative can sometimes take a lot of time. Sometimes it can be unstructured. Because, for example, let's say you're doing in-depth interviews with somebody. If I'm talking to a lady, a motherly figure, an auntie, I'm sitting with the auntie and then she starts talking about, let's say I'm talking to her about food. What kind of food do you like and why do you like this food? And then she starts telling me stories about her family, her children, her son, where does he work? He took her to travel the world. She saw French food. She will tell me stories. I cannot stop her. I cannot say, no, I don't want to hear this. Please give me answer to my research question. We don't do that. We listen to these stories. We understand these stories. We take a pen and we write down all these things. We record what they are saying. And then we try to get from all these thick data which we got, we try to extract the real answer for this lady. And then when I go, I ask the same questions to another person. That person may be very quick. I ask him 10 questions. He gives me answers, 2-minute answers, tuck. And I get all my answers. So that's very unstructured. With one person, I spend 1 hour. With another person, I spend 10 minutes, but I got enough answers. So qualitative data sometimes takes a lot of time, but it produces rich data. Data which is actually useful for the planet, useful for the world. Data which is also useful for quantitative people to take and then test it in different parts of the world. We create knowledge and they test the knowledge in the world. So that's the difference between a quali and a quanti way of thinking. What people told me a few years ago. Quantitative researchers measure phenomena. They use statistical analysis like SPSS, ANOVA, chi-square, etc. Or nowadays, they also use smart PLS and things like that. They provide very broad, very generalizable findings in a succinct manner, in a very tight, structured way. That they talk about, this is what I found out, very generalized. On the other hand, qualitative gives you in-depth information about much smaller number of cases. So we don't generalize thousands of people. We talk about a very small, very tight population. When I talk about, let's say I'm talking about food habits of Malaysians. Instead of saying food habit of Malaysians, it's better in qualitative researcher if I say food habits of Malays in Malaysia. I'm focused a little bit. I want to focus some more. Food habits of young Malays in Malaysia, even tighter focus. Then I want to focus some more. I'll say food habits of 18 to 25-year-old young Malaysians in urban Malaysia, not rural Malaysia, not kampung, not a village, but urban Malaysia. So I focused even more. Then let's say Malaysia is too big. So I want to focus even more tighter. I say food habits of young 18 to 25-year-old Malays staying in Klang Valley in Malaysia. So, we are going very in depth and in a very specific group of people, and very few people. But what we find is a lot of data based on this small group. So qualitative researchers produce rich data. Our quantitative researchers produce generalized data. That's the difference. Qualitative researchers help the world increase their understanding of the situations, and it reduces generalizability. Because again, like I told you, we are humans, we're all the same, but we are all different. We all like different things. We all see the world in a different way, in a different manner. We'll do some activities later, and we'll see that all of us are different. I'll make you do some activities. So that's the basic difference. I'll go ahead. I don't want to jump my time. Let me see my watch. I need to be a little bit faster. So, we say qualitative researchers are an enigma, or we try to explain things which are very hard to explain. Quantitative people will accept things, but we will say, try to understand why something is happening. We diverge deeper into things. This is just a definition from Merriam Dictionary. Somebody sent me a message. If without the number of research background, how can we make the conclusion why this problem we want to do research is very important or valuable? How to make a conclusion why the problem is valuable? Now that, Lena, is a good question. You have to find out your own reasons for doing something. Everybody has a different reason for doing something. So you have to find out, see, if you want to do something, there must be something guiding you. Not someone guiding you, but something guiding you. Something in your mind says, hey, I want to find out about this. That is your reason. Explore that reason. Think about it. Sometimes what I like, I write down my thoughts, in diary. I will write things because I forget. I forget names and faces very fast. So I will write down things. If I don't have my diary, I write in my mobile phone. Anything I remember, I write down. So if you want to do something, don't ask the world why I want to do this. You ask yourself, why do you want to do it? That's your personal reason. And nobody in the world is like you. For example, Lena, you asked me a question. You're from China. I'm from India. I come from India. And I work in Malaysia. I have never seen, let's say you want to do a research on whoever you're doing. I don't know your reasons. You know your reason why you're doing research on those people. So you cannot ask me. You can discuss with me. You can sit down with me and talk to me for 1 hour. And then you can say, Mayukh, I want to do this because da, 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 da. What do you think? So we can discuss. Sometimes when you discuss with me or your husband or your children or your wife, whoever you discuss with, or your friends, when you discuss with people, your own reasons will automatically come out. My suggestion is sometimes, if you're free, for example, I'm talking to my student Lena and I know her. So let's say, Lena, you talk to your daughter, for example, and you try to explain to your daughter why you're doing this research. I know what you're doing. I will not sharing with everybody. But whatever you're doing for your research, talk to your daughter and explain to her and see whether she understands. And if your daughter does not understand, try to explain to her more. Try in a different way. The more you talk to people, the more you will find out why you're doing something. Don't let your supervisor, I'm your supervisor, for example, Alina, you're my student. Don't let your supervisor tell you who to research on. Don't let your supervisor tell you the methodology you should do. Don't let your supervisor or don't let your qualitative lecturer tell you which method you should use. Get advice from them. Get guidance from them. It's guidance. It's not a rule. Please understand. I always tell this to many, many people. It's guidance, not rule. So I cannot tell you the reason why you should choose your respondents. Only you know why you're choosing them. Because you chose them. I never chose them for you. So you tell me why you chose them. And if you can defend that, perfect. In your proposal defense, if your examiner will ask you, why do you choose this kind of people for your research? You have to explain. This answer you will never find in this class. This answer you will never find in a qualitative book. This answer is inside Lina's brain. It's inside Lina's heart. Only you know why you are choosing those people from that cultural background, from that country. You know. So it's you explain in your own words and then see whether people understand. If people don't understand you or people are questioning you, that means you need to do more brainstorming. Think again. I will tell you personally, when I used to do my PhD, I would get ideas, while taking a shower, I would get an idea. While sitting in toilet, I'll get an idea. Sometimes while sleeping at night, 2 o'clock in the night, 3 o'clock in the night, I would get an idea and again, I told you, I kept a diary and a pen next to me. I'll just quickly wake up, switch on my mobile phone and, put the light. I'll just write down that idea and sleep. Because I know I'm getting old. When I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll forget everything. So, I go back to my diary and I say, hey, what did I write? And then I think about it. Think about what you want to do and also talk to people and try to explain your thoughts to people. So that's what qualitative people do. And the best way you will understand people is when you understand yourself. Remember, you are not generalizing. You are not finding out thousands of people. You may interview 10, 20, 30 people only. To understand people, what's inside people's heart, first you should look at yourself, understand yourself. That is topic number 6, which we will discuss in week 6. It's called reflexivity. Reflexivity means you yourself are very, very important in your research. In qualitative research, you are not outside the box. Many people say this, think outside the box. You cannot think outside the box in qualitative research. You are inside the box. In fact, you created the box. It is your mind. It is your thinking. It is your attitude. It is your behavior. Everything is yours. So instead of looking out, you look in. Look at yourself and say, why I want to do this. And then discuss with people. And they tell them, I want to do this because da da da. Try to keep convincing people. The more you convince people, the easier for you to convince your examiner later on. Okay, so let's go ahead. Qualitative researchers encapsulates many paradigms, many approaches, many methodologies, and many methods. So remember, methodology and method is different. Paradigm is the overarching, the way of how you think. Methodology could be ethnography, phenomenology, case studies. And then method is participant observation, interviews, da 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 da. So paradigm, methodology, method. To do the paradigm, you need to understand your paradigm first. What methodology you want to employ, discuss with your lecturer, with your supervisor. What method you want to do, again, discuss with your supervisor. And when you do all these paradigm, methodology, method, you have to be careful about ethics, so that you don't harm the people who are your interviewing, ethics. And that's your methodology chapter, all done. These three authors are very, very interesting. My suggestion is, please read articles, please read the books written by Denzing and Lincoln and Creswell. I love the way they write, and I hope you can learn from them as well. From a philosophical perspective, qualitative, quantitative approach are driven by different paradigms. So first we need to understand what is a paradigm. What is this word, paradigm? So paradigm means a set of belief. We all believe different things because we all come from different parts of the world. We all grew up in a different family structure, different country, different political structure, different education background. So we all see the world differently. And we see the world differently in there's three words which you need to know, which you need to understand. One is ontology. Ontology means what is the nature of knowledge? What is the nature of reality? Reality for me and for you is different. I'll tell you, I come from India. I'm a Hindu. I don't, for example, I hate, people killing cows and, that's against my religion, for example. I studied in India for my younger days, but all my degrees have been done in a Western paradigm, from the West, in the Western world. So all those things are affecting me as a person. I'll give you another example. I grew up without a mother. My mother died when I was a baby. So I grew up in a family where there was no maternal love. There was only a strict father. So all these things affect me and my worldview, how I see things. For example, if I go to a Pasamalam in Malaysia, Pasamalam means, the night market or the evening or the morning market. If I go to a Pasamalam market and I see, for example, cow meat, beef being sold, or a head of a cow sitting on a table, it makes me feel, for example, uncomfortable. I have been in the Western world more than half my life. I have traveled all around the world. I have sat down with people while we eat. I'm a non-vegetarian, by the way. So I have eaten on the table while they're eating beef burgers, beef steaks, and I'm eating chicken or fish or whatever. So even then, when I see a head of a cow on a table or meat hanging, it makes me feel something in my stomach goes weird, because I am different than you. Me, or my nature of reality, how I understand the world, is dictated by who I am, is dictated by how I see the world. And how I see the world is very different than, let's say, how my friend, my student Lena, or I see another student of mine here, Leona, she's here somewhere. So another student, they are, let's say, they are only 1,000 kilometers away from me. I'm in northern India, they may be in China, they're 1,000 kilometers away. But the way we think of the world is completely different. The way we see food is completely different. The way we see interpersonal behavior is completely different. So our reality, our nature of reality, how we see reality is different. So that is, a qualitative person sees the world differently and a quantitative person sees the world differently. Ontologically, epistemology means what is the nature of relationship between the knower and the known. So epistemology means the inquirer and the person who has the knowledge. What is the nature of relationship? When you go into a field, a quantitative person would say, don't let your emotions guide you. You are outside the box. You don't influence the person. You just ask question, they give you answer. So there, it's a very strict transactional behavior. It's like a business transaction. You go to the bank, you take the money. But for qualitative researchers, we have a different relationship between the person who has the knowledge and the person who wants the knowledge. Because when you talk, you understand that you are also influencing them while you ask them questions. When, if I ask you a question in a particular way, and I ask you a question, the same question in a slightly different way, you will give me a different answer for the same thing. If I ask you, why are you eating that? If we are friends, I'm sitting with my friend, I'm saying, hey, bro, why are you eating that? He'll say, hey, because I'm hungry, I'm eating that. Well, I love it. My mother cooked for me. But if I get angry and I go to a place, let's say, again, I'm talking about, let's say, beef. I see somebody eating beef and then they know that I don't like beef. So I say, why are you eating that? You're eating that. Are you crazy? Why are you eating that? Do you think he'll give me the same answer? Hey, my mom cooked for me. I'll eat that. Hey, I'm hungry. I love it. No, the answers may change because I influenced my attitude, my behavior, my dressing up, my religion, my smile or my anger on my face already influenced your answer. That is what qualitative people do. We know and we understand that we, the inquirer, affects the person who has the knowledge. For example, if I go and ask a lady about her personal life, her relationship with the husband, I go and ask a woman, how close are you to your husband? And then I talk intimate things. The type of answer she will give me will be very different than if a woman does the same interview. If another woman with the same age group, same culture, same religion, same kind of social structure, talk to her, she will give a much deeper answer, maybe a different answer. So qualitative researchers acknowledge this, and then we acknowledge this also in our writing. We explain how we may have influenced our respondents. Methodological difference. How do we go about finding knowledge? Different people, we find knowledge by peeling the layers of an onion, like I told you. We go deeper and deeper. Quantitative researchers go finding knowledge by how many people are doing it. For them, numbers are more important. For a quantitative person, they would say, if 100 people are doing this, if 90 people are doing this out of 100, that means people like this. Example, a quantitative person would say, durian is the king of fruit. All of you know durian, right? Malaysian would say, durian is the king of fruit. It's the best fruit in the world. According to who? A qualitative person will say, according to who? According to Malaysians, maybe Thai, maybe some Chinese, not according to the whole world. So durian is the king of fruits for Malaysians. If you take the same durian to, let's say, India, India's population is more than 100 times the population of Malaysia. And if you go to India, 100, I don't know, maybe 30 times more. So if you go to India and you ask the people, you do a survey in India, and you say, according to my quantitative research, this is king of fruits. Everybody loves durian. And then you do a survey with 1,000 people in India. And 900 people say, hey, we hate it. It smells like hell. It's horrible. Then your research, the completely changed. You cannot generalize it. You cannot. So qualitative people like me, I will say, you cannot generalize the answer. You cannot say durian is the king of fruit. We say it is subjective. Qualitative people say it depends on who you are, where are you, and which part of the world are you in, and maybe also in which time are you in. Which time means in history, which time of history it may affect. Durian may be loved by Malaysians, but may be hated by the whole world. And then if I do a survey about the whole planet and only 1% of the world loves durian, then the research answers are very different. So we, qualitative people, we go deeper into a knowledge and find out the real reasons. And when we write our analysis, we write about very specific cases. Durian is loved in Malaysia because of da 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 da. And then we say it's only loved in Malaysia, in this part of the world. However, if this research was conducted in Thailand or Japan or America, the results may not be the same. So we acknowledge it. Qualitative researchers acknowledge it. Again, I think I'm going too much into detail. Let me quickly, I want to show you this. The basic difference between qualitative and quantitative. Ontologically means how the world is perceived, how we see the world. So positivist people and interpretivist people, these are the two differences. A positive person is usually a quantitative person who comes from a, they believe that a single knowledge exists. Reality is singular. For example, a qualitative person will see this pen and say, this pen is red. It is red in color. Why is it red? Because I see it as red. I asked 100 people and 100 people told me this is red color. So this pen is red. They say reality is singular. However, a qualitative person like me says, this reality is multiple realities. This reality is contextually situated and there may be alternate realities that exist. Just because you say the pen is red, it may not be red. You are looking at this pen and you see it as red because it is in your reality. If I see this pen, for me, this pen looks maybe blue because my reality may be different than you. I don't know whether you know this. Let me stop sharing this screen. Again, I don't want to do a lot of talk. Let me just show you something. Oh, beautiful. We'll discuss what you're doing here. Do you guys remember this photo? People, switch on your mic and tell me. Everybody,
Yes.
do you remember there was a controversy about this photo a few years ago?
Yep.
Does anybody remember? Mr. Peng Hao, you remember this?
I recall, yes.
A few years ago,
That is correct.
I think it was before smartphone or during the smartphones, people were sharing a lot of photo. Some people said it is blue and black. Some people said it is white and golden. So what they were saying is this is just an example I'm giving you of multiple realities. Everybody has got different reality. Everybody sees the world differently. Some people, when they saw the dress, they said it is white and golden color. But some other people, when they saw on their phone, they said, oh no, it's blue. And then they're fighting with each other because everybody sees the world differently. I'll give you another example. All of you have seen this movie, right? I'm sure you've seen this on TV or somewhere. What was the name of that woman? The ancient one, yeah. Did you all see this movie? Marvel movie? I love this photo. I always like to show this photo to people. This is just an example of what I was telling you. Multiple realities. What this lady, this ancient one, her name was Ancient One, if I remember. What she was doing is, she was saying there is multiple realities. There is no singular reality. There is no one universe. You know, like nowadays you got the new Spider-Man. Again, all these things help me. What was that latest movie? I don't know. Yes, this one. This one where they have all the old Spider-Man came back. So what I'm trying to tell you is, they say they are all existing at the same time, but in a different universe. This guy, Tom Holland, and this guy, they're all existing. They're all Spider-Man. They are all having a girlfriend called Mary Jane or somebody. And they are all present at the same time, but in a different universe, in a different reality. So and this ancient one, she can change reality. You see, behind her, she's changing the world. Everything is changing. What was straight has suddenly become upside down. So the reality is different. And again, I'll give you an example of multiple realities. Let's say I am in Malaysia. I am sitting straight in Malaysia. Straight. I'm saying my head is straight up. But somebody who's sitting on the planet on the North Pole, for example, when I say North Pole, if somebody is sitting on North Pole over here, somebody standing over here, his head is also pointing up. And when I'm in Malaysia, my head, or let's say I'm in South America, when I'm standing, I'm also pointing up. But my up and the person standing here, his up is not the same. Mr. Pengyo, do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
When I say I'm standing straight, I'm actually standing like this on the planet, right? Because I'm here near the equator. And this person who's standing straight up, he's actually standing there. So our realities are different. And that is what qualitative researchers believe in, that our reality is different. Just because somebody sees the world in a particular way does not mean it's correct. Somebody wrote something. Dr. Strange, yeah. Spider-Man, yeah, correct. So multiple realities. And we also believe that you cannot measure everything in the planet. Quantitative people say, I can measure how much you love For example, I drink Evian water because I love it. And you will say, how much do you love it? Give me a scale between 1 to 10. How much do you love it? I'll say, oh, I love it maybe 9. And somebody will say, I love it 7. You know, we all give a scale. But qualitative people like us say, everything cannot be measured. For example, if I ask you, anybody in, let's say I can see Jin Yuzen. Let's say, Jin Yuzen, how much do you love your mother? Yuzen, you tell me how much you love your mother compared to.
I love my mother very much.
Now, when you say very much, if I tell you 0 to 100 for mother and 0 to 100 father, which one do you love more, mother or father?
For mother, maybe 99%. For father, maybe 80%.
You don't love your mother or your father so much. So that means you don't love your father. Is that correct?
I think
20% you don't love your father. Am I correct?
80. I love my father.
But you don't love him 20%.
Yeah. 20% is too less.
No, what I'm saying is a quantitative person will give you numbers, how much you love something, how much you do something. But qualitative people say you cannot measure everything in the world. Because sometimes
cannot measure like I mean 100% correctly is right and 100% is correctly is wrong.
No, the thing is, let's say how much, let's say I give you a chicken burger and I say, how much do you love chicken burger? You say 6 out of 10. I say 7 out of 10. But does your number 6 out of 10 and does my number 7 out of 10? What's the difference? Maybe my 7 out of 10, in reality, I don't love it so much compared to your 6 out of 10. Your 6 out of 10 could be, there is much more love for burger compared to something else. What I'm saying is, in qualitative words, we say life cannot be measured. Just because somebody says something, somebody loves something in a particular number, I'll give you an example. Very
The
things are relative,
evaluation is different. The measurement is different from different people.
Let me give you an example of, let's say, a mobile phone. Let's say I have a mobile phone in my hand. I don't have a phone, it's my fan. Let's say I have a mobile phone, which is an iPhone. It cost me 2,000 ringgit. And I bought this phone for 2,000 ringgit. And then I want to sell my phone to, let's say, Yuzen. And Yuzen says, Mayukh, I'll give you 1,000 ringgit. Can you give me your phone? I will say, okay, 1,000 ringgit, you take the phone. But if my phone is very close to me, if I have a lot of photos of my child, a lot of photos of my office, a lot of personal bank details, if you give me 2,000 ringgit, will I give you my phone? Maybe not. Let's put it the other way. Tianmen, I'll come back to you. Just give me a minute. Let's talk about. Somebody switch on your camera so I can ask you a question. Okay, Tianmen, let's talk to you. Tianmen, can you switch on your mic?
Oh yes, I'm open. Turn on it.
Tianmen, can you show me your phone?
My phone. I use my phone to listen.
Oh, you're using phone. Oh, okay. Tianmen,
Okay.
How much is your phone? How much money?
1,000.
Okay, 1,000. Let's say 1,000 RMB. If I give you 1,000, will you give me your phone?
No.
If I give you 1,500, will you give me your phone? Right now. Give me your phone right
Yeah.
now. You cannot change anything in your phone. You cannot remove anything. You cannot delete anything. I give you 1,500. Can you give me your phone right now?
No, no, actually, not.
2,000?
I don't want.
2,000? I'm giving you double.
It's number. I think it's number.
Okay, 5,000.
How to say it? Because maybe
What I'm trying to come here is we cannot put number on everything. You know, there's a difference between price and value.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
price of Tianwen, your phone's price is 1,000, but the value of your phone is more than 10,000 because you got personal photo, you got bank detail, you got so many important things in your phone, right? So that's what qualitative researchers say. Just because something shows in a particular number, it may not be correct.
What happened?
It's offline.
Sorry, my internet just gone off already. I need to, I was in a
Welcome
different,
back.
I went to a
Oh,
different
welcome back.
reality.
Welcome back.
I went into Marvel universe. Okay, no worries, guys. If the internet goes off, don't worry. As soon as my internet comes back, I will join the meeting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go back to the presentation. Where was I? Okay. I think we need to, yeah. Ontologically, so qualitative people or positivist people say that only one reality exists, but interpretivists like us say everybody has a different reality. Everybody has a different worldview. I see the world differently, you see the world differently. So when I, as a qualitative researcher, when I interview people, I try to understand their worldview. I try to understand how they see this world. That's what qualitative people do. Epistemologically means what is the relationship between the researcher and the participant. For positivist people, they say the relationship between the researcher and researcher is value-free and objective. Objective means I don't influence you at all. They also say they are detached from the truth. The observer is outside the box, detached from the truth. And they say that the researcher does not influence. I don't influence my finding. Whatever my SPSS will say, I will write down. That's what positivist people think. However, interpretivist people or people like me, we say that the world is subjective. It's not objective. Subjective means it's different. The way I see something is different than the way you will see something. Because I come from a different culture, different religion, different lifestyle. You come from a different lifestyle. So you see the world differently than me. And interpretivist people also believe that the knowledge which we will generate, it emerges from the researcher and participant interaction. We call it the knowledge is mutually agreed upon. A quantitative person says, I do survey, I find out, I give you. Qualitative people say, no, when I go and interview somebody, they give me a lot of information. I tell the information back to them. They'll say, I like this, da, 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 da. Then I will discuss, oh, so you mean to say you like something because da, 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 da. So we mutually together, we make a meaning out of life. That is what interpretivists believe. That is what people like us believe. That the knowledge is not your knowledge. The knowledge is you and me together. We came up with this knowledge. It is mutually constructed. Methodology, positivist people, they use quantitative work, statistical analysis tools. We do qualitative work. axiology is how the knowledge is valued, how what is the type of knowledge which they have. Positivist people say knowledge is universal. So universal, basically it comes to this single reality, because they see the world as single reality. They say that whatever knowledge they produce is universal. But what we say, qualitative researchers say, there is multiple reality. That means the knowledge which is produced is situated in different places. If I do the research in China, I will get a different answer. If I do a research in Malaysia, I will get a different answer. Because a person in China, does things differently. A person in Malaysia does things differently. Tianmin, you had a question. Yes, I forgot. What was your question?
Oh, now is no question for now.
No question. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody has question, please ask. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I had this survey thing which I wanted to do. Who is a qualitative researcher, but I think you all know this. Before I do this, let me quickly just see your answers. Who's a qualitative? Again, you know this already. I'll give this as a homework. You can do this later on. Let me just quickly run through what all of you are doing so I get an idea. Weak signal analysis, China food safety, risk early warning study. Next method on food studies, okay. Relationship between attitude, motivation, discussion, Chinese tertiary students. Mixed method, questionnaire, observation, interview. Again, so people who are doing mixed method, you have to be really careful to find out whether you think like this in a positive way or as an interpretivist person. Are you a positivist person or are you interpretivist person? Very, very important. What I want all of you to do is today, read about positivist paradigm and interpretivist paradigm. For the next 1 week, read more about positivist and interpretivist and try to situate yourself. Are you more positivist? Are you more interpretivist? You do that with your own self. Try to understand, are you this kind of person or are you this kind of person? And especially for people who are doing mixed method research. Development modes of cultural tourism, real estate project, you want to do interview. Okay. Exploring the elderly oriented design for mobile health other among chronic patients. Okay, you want to create this, but maybe Han Qingjun, you want to tell me what is APP's health app, like mobile phone apps? Is it that?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You want to develop health app for chronic patient in China.
Yeah.
So what do you want to explore here? Exploring what? Do you want to find out what kind of app people want, or do you want to find out what is the problem for elder people? What exactly do you want to find out?
Oh, well, there are lots of problems about the interactive design because the elderly people have a huge gap between the elderly oriented design and elderly basic needs. So I want to find out, well, according to the cognitive mental workload, to find out what kind of design could reduce the mental workload when elderly people using this kind of apps.
So are you going to develop an app, or are you going to find out what kind of app do old people like?
Well, maybe find out what kind of apps elderly people prefer to use.
So what app people like? Okay. And how will you do that? you will give them examples of apps, or you will just ask them like interviews? That what do you like?
Well, maybe have some interviews to find out, because there are millions of apps, like healthcare apps.
But what if the old people don't know about app? Then what will you do? Let's say I'm an old person. You ask me, Mayukh, what app do you like on your phone? And I say, hey, I don't know about any app. Then what will you
Yeah,
do?
because that's the problem that about the participants. Because I need to narrow it down about the participants which already use internet or apps. Because I'm focusing on chronic patients, which means
Now, see again, your focus has to be either on chronic patient, or your focus has to be on elderly people who are technologically advanced. Because you just told me you want to interview people who know about technology already, right?
yeah.
So who know about something like that. So elderly people who already know about technology, something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is everybody, whatever research you're going to do, don't just say, I want to do interview or text analysis. Before you do this, I want you to read more about positivism and interpretivism.
Okay.
It also has another, we call it constructivism, C-O-N-S-T, constructivist or interpretivist. I wrote in the group chat, constructivist paradigm or interpretivist paradigm. My internet is again unstable. Huh? If my internet goes off, don't worry, I will come back. I want all of you to read about positivism and interpretivism, and I want you to understand constructivism, interpretivism in detail. This is very, very important for you to understand. We'll not do this. So basically, who's a qualitative researcher? All of you know who's a qualitative researcher. What I will say is, maybe in your homework, you can do this. I will copy this and put this in the group chat. Okay, guys, in the group chat, I have put a link about what do you understand by qualitative researcher. I want you to, by Thursday, in your own words, just write down who is a qualitative researcher in your own words, in your understanding. Please don't go to the internet, pick up something and write. Please don't read something from a book or from Wikipedia and write. I want you, in your own heart, just tell me, what do you understand by qualitative researcher? And then you just write it on this page. Let me know. Later, not now, later. I see some people writing already. You do that later. Let me come back to my slide. So in my opinion, a qualitative researcher is somebody who looks at life. A qualitative researcher is who looks at people, what people are doing, looks at film, looks at stories of people. A qualitative researcher is somebody who does a lot of multitasking. We do interviews, we do participant observation, we spend time in the field, we become who the person is. For example, I'm an ethnographer. So when I do a research, I become a participant. For example, I did a research on motorcycle tourism. So I became the participant. I started riding motorcycle with those motorcycle groups. Or I did the research on religious tourists. So I became one of the religious tourists of that type of people. I started spending time with them as a participant. So I lived the lifestyle. So we qualitative people, things seem a bit messy because we will be doing stories, we will be doing interviews, we will be spending time in the field, we will be writing diary notes, we will click a lot of photos with mobile phone, we will try to analyze everything. But that is what is interesting. We qualitative researchers want to just not see what's above. Don't just see life in front of you. You know, I want to show you this photo. Don't just see the life all around you. See what's inside there. Don't see people living. See what is their apprehension. See what is their courage. See what hope they have. See what determination they have. See what kind of love and feelings and dedications and frustrations and passion that people have. So remember, we don't see things as a whole. We go deeper and find out the real sense of what people are doing. I'll go faster because we are running out of time. So qualitative researcher, I want you to read an article by Gage. It's called End of Paradigm Wars. It gives you a lot of ideas about paradigms that will really help you to analyze what research is all about. I want to show you this photo again. Yeah. A qualitative researcher can use many strategies like ethnography. I am an ethnographer. I do ethnography. They do phenomenology, they study phenomena. They do grounded theory. They do case studies. Qualitative researchers use different methods like interviews. They can do participant observations. They can do video recordings. They can click photos, analyze a photo. I will give you example how to analyze photo also. I'll show you diaries, blogs, etc. As such, you know, so we qualitative researchers are bicolliers or quilt makers or montage maker. Bicollier means basically we take things from everywhere and create new knowledge. We don't just do an interview, for example. We do an interview, plus we click some photo and we analyze the photo. Let's look at this photo, everybody. Everybody look at this photo. I put this photo yesterday on my slide. Can you tell me what's happening in this photo? Can you guess where is this photo from? Everybody. I want everybody to answer. When you see this photo.
Cuba.
Cuba, yes, you can see, somebody can see Cuba here. Good. So what's happening in this photo? Let's try and analyze this photo. Don't only analyze.
Struggle to live.
This guy is struggling to start this car. Okay. What else do you see here? Everybody, please take part. Huh? I really want you to take part. Don't just sit and otherwise it will become like a very boring class. What's happening? Dennis?
It may be a repairman who is repairing a car that broke down.
Okay.
By the road.
Okay.
And
anything else? Teresa, what do you think?
I can see graffiti on the wall. So maybe this is in a poor area.
Could be a poor area, could be an area where there's a lot of children.
And also can see very old electricity equipment here.
Yes, so you see a lot of old electricity. So maybe it's a poor neighborhood.
Yeah.
or they don't have latest equipment. Maybe the country doesn't have latest equipment. So I basically showed you this photo to see a few things. Number one, you can analyze photos also in qualitative research. You can see, okay, it's Cuba. So this is in Cuba. You can see a person is repairing. You see graffiti on the wall. You see it's a very old car. And Cuba is famous for very old cars, because in Cuba, they do something which qualitative researchers also do. Bricoleurs, which means they take different things from different parts, different cars. Okay, he seems distracted as well. Okay, he seems unhappy. Many people wrote, he seems unhappy. Okay. In Cuba, they have American sanction. They cannot take new vehicles. So they take all kind of old machine and they put in the new cars. They take things from different places and they construct something new. It's, let me show you again. Where is my slide? Sorry, I keep doing this, huh? So a bicolor or a person is a person who creates using whatever material is available. So we take whatever is available and we create something new. That is what a qualitative a person will do. You will take something and create something new. So as a qualitative researcher, where are you? As a qualitative researcher, you will take whatever you found, you will take something else from somewhere, put it inside that and create new knowledge. For example, this person, he's taking an engine from a boat. He's putting it inside a car and he's making the car run in Cuba. So they are taking all the old cars, putting it in a new car and making it working again. So that is what qualitative researchers do. Don't only look at maybe an interview. Don't only look at participant observation. Don't only look at photo. You look at many, many things and analyze everything to find knowledge. That's what qualitative researchers should be doing. We create montage. Again, this is something which I wanted to do, but we are running out of time. We create montage. Montage is again, we create stories. We are a storyteller. If you want, you can see this. I will again share this with you. I'll share this with you later. You can see this. It's a very old movie sequence of montage. That means you're like a storyteller. Whatever you write, when I read your work, I should really, it's like reading a novel. I should really understand what your participant or what your respondent feels like. What is his behavior? What is his attitude? What is his life all about? So you have to be really create, it's like creating a beautiful novel or a beautiful story or a beautiful movie. So that's what qualitative researchers have to do. Improvise, create something new, make sure it is emotional, it connects with your examiner. When you explain it, you invoke a lot of emotions. You are not, like I said, outside the box. You create the box. You are with the people. If people are sad, you try to understand why they are sad. Be empathetic with them, be sympathetic with them. Understand the real reasons why people are doing something. If somebody is creating a health app for old people, really understand, spend a lot of time with them. Don't just show them a few apps and ask them, do you like this, this, or this? Which app do you like? No. Spend a lot of time with them. Find out what type of colors they like, what type of computers they like. Why don't they like apps? Sometimes you can flip the question and ask people why people don't like something, and then get real deep answers. We are looking for deep answers, not answers from hundreds of people. Very few people, but really deep answers. A qualitative researcher is a storyteller. A person who embraces the revolution of politics of representation. Understand what people are saying, understand what people are doing. Don't just see what's happening and report it. Try to understand why are people doing something. If you see in a particular country, for example, let's say, I don't want to get into politics, but let's give an example. In Malaysia, somebody today one of the ministers said, let the air hostess in the aeroplane, give them a choice to wear their tudung, the Muslim headgear. Give the choice to all the air hostess to wear headgear. Now, we don't, qualitative researchers, try to find the real reason why this person said that. If you ask the person, he will say, oh, I said that because people should get a choice. But don't believe that. Go much more deeper. Discuss with more people and find the real reason why that could have been said. Why the person said something. Always never accept the first answer. If people say, Mayukh, why are you eating the chicken burger? Because I like it. Don't say, oh, Mayukh is eating chicken burger because he likes it. No. Why? Oh, because I like, because it's very tasty. But why do you think it's tasty? Because it's very crispy. So what happens when you eat something crispy? Why do you feel so good? Oh, it reminds me of, when I eat the crispy burger, it reminds me of my childhood. Why does it remind you of your childhood? Oh, because my mother used to give me crispy burgers, chicken burger. So what happens when you eat crispy burger? Oh, it reminds me of my mother. That's the real answer. Why is Mayukh eating chicken burger? Because it reminds him of his mother, not because if he likes it. So don't accept my first answer. Why is Mayukh eating a chicken burger? Because he likes it. No. Ask more questions. Go deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you find the real answer. It's like peeling the onion. Find the heart of the onion. And then you say, the real reason for Mayukh to eat chicken burger is because it reminds him of his mother. That's the real answer. So explore, and then you become a storyteller. Then you write down whatever you found out. Like a story, like a beautiful story. So when people read it, they really understand what you mean. They also understand what the respondents mean, what those people say. Texts do not mirror the world, they create the world. So whatever you write is not just showing whatever you saw, you don't write. You create the world in your writing. When you write something and somebody reads it, I'll give you an example of Harry Potter. I don't know whether all of you know Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a movie, and Harry Potter is like, again, I give too many examples sometimes. All of you know this, Harry Potter movies. I'm sure even in different part of the world, you know this. So when you read the Harry Potter stories, what happened? Not the movie, when you read the novel, many people love it. And the reason he loves it The reason why people love it is because they start living that dream. They start living the Harry Potter style, because the author, J.K. Rowling, she created a world in her words that when you read those words, you feel that you are there. You feel you are a part of that story. You understand that. Because J.K. Rowling doesn't say Harry Potter went into the room and Harry Potter saw the something. She doesn't say like that. She will create the world in her writing. Harry Potter walked towards the room. The wind was slow. There was a chill in the air. The room was so quiet, you could hear his steps on the floor. There was a little bit water on the floor. Harry Potter could see his shadow on the floor. And I'm just creating a story. There was a mist in the air. It felt as if there was somebody in the room. Harry Potter got scared. His hair on his hand was standing. You know, she's creating this world in her words. That is what you have to do as a qualitative researcher. You only talk to 10 people or 20 people or 30 people. Take their story, understand their story, and then write it in your thesis in such a beautiful manner that your examiner, when they read your word, they live the life which you saw with your guest, with your respondent. So that's something which you really have to do. That's somebody wrote here magic. That's the magic you have to try and create. Somebody had a lived experience. Maybe you saw that lived experience, or you lived with them for a few days. You experienced the same experience. Now you have to write that experience in such a way that you create that story for the world, for your readers to understand. That's what you have to do. So a qualitative researcher is also a performer. You have to perform. You are like an actor. You create reality and then you perform it in different settings. You defragment yourself. Defragment means you break yourself down. If you understand something and you write it down, don't write about them, also write about you. Because you understood them. You know, your thesis is not about them. This analysis is not about them. This analysis is about you understanding them. This analysis is about them and you together. That's qualitative research. You are analyzing what those, like somebody is doing apps. So when you're doing apps, you're finding out what people like, and then you're writing it down. But you are not only writing what they think about apps. You are writing about your understanding of what they think they like inside an app. What chronic patients like in a healthcare app, for example. So it's transactional. Both of you are important in this analysis. You have to perform this writing in your writing. You have to explain them. You have to also explain how you have understood that. That's reflexivity. That's chapter 6. So that you have to be able to do as a qualitative researcher. You are a reflective person. You do reflexivity. I told you this. You think about their history, their personal history. You don't see the person in front of you. See everything about the person. Is he angry? Is he tired? Is he stressed? Is he old? Is he young? Is he wearing perfume? Maybe. Is he tired? Is he hungry? All those things will affect your answers, which you get from him. That's what we call field notes. I'll show you example of field note in the future. You have to do field note. Even if you are interviewing people, you have to write a lot of other things, not just the interview. You have to create field notes because you will forget when you collect data and then you start analysis after 2 months, you've forgotten many things of the data already. You only remember your video recording or your audio recording. That is why you have to do field notes. And then you do in-depth scrutiny of their personal history, your history, biography, their gender, their social classes, their ethnicity, and the social setting. And the setting is very important. If you are interviewing somebody, I'll give you an example. I did my PhD research on religious tourists, food choice behavior of religious tourists. So I used to spend a lot of time with those type of tourists in that particular country. And sometimes, when I'm doing interview with them, we are sitting in a garden. When we are sitting in a garden, enjoying the beautiful breeze, there's birds and flowers and trees, that also affects this girl's answer to me. When I'm sitting in a hotel room of a respondent, and he's sitting on his own bed or on his sofa, and he's discussing something with me, when he's more relaxed, his answers to me will be very different compared to when I meet him on the street and I stop him on the road and say, hello, I'm from Taylor's University, I'm a student. Can you give me some answers, please? His answer to me standing on the street and his answer to me while I'm sitting in his hotel room, and we've already had a long discussion. He knows me, I know him. We are both a little bit friendly. His answer to me will be very different. So the setting is very important. And you as a qualitative researcher should be able to write this setting down, just like J.K. Rowling writes Harry Potter, explain everything. That's called thick description. Again, I'll write this I love using this word. Thick description. Please read about what is thick description in qualitative research. You have to be able to do that. Okay, we will skip this. What I will do is, what's the time now? It's 4:50 already. Before we finish, I want to do something. I want to show you something. Okay, people who are here already, can you quickly switch on your camera again? Faster for me. Okay, thank you. Okay, so today, guys, I just talked to you a little bit about lots of things. You may be wondering what did we just talk about in the last 3 hours? We just talked about what's qualitative research a little bit. We tried to understand who is a qualitative researcher. My suggestion to you is, please go back home, download the MI, which is given in the group chat, in the over here. Read the MI in detail. The 3 assessments are given here: assessment 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Start thinking about doing your assessment 1. Start writing about this. You may have a little bit data already because some of you have done your what do you call your proposal for joining your PhD. So you have a little idea already. So download these. Try to start doing your assessment 1. While you're doing this, I want you to do this. In the group chat, I have sent you the Padlet for what is qualitative researcher. So fill up that Padlet also. This Padlet. So I've given you this already in the group. Okay, some people are writing already. Fantastic. I want you to do this. Also, I want you to over here. Okay, you can write over here also. Oh, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. I'm giving you one homework which I want to see from you next week. You see here, everybody. I've given you one article here, Understanding Ethnography. This is just an article in week 1, which I want you to download this article. After you download this article, I'll write in the group channel. Download the Understanding Ethnography article and then you analyze it. What analysis I want you to do, I have given you here. Maybe you can print screen. I only want you to read the abstract and the introduction chapter, introduction section. Don't read the full paper. Only read the abstract and the intro, and then find out what is the paradigm in this article, what is the ontological stance in this article, what is the epistemological stance, what is the methodological approach used in this article, what are the methods used, and justify your answers which you want to give. So what I want you to do this, and you can do this on Thursday. Don't need to do today. You can read that article and give me the answer to this by Thursday. Ken? Anybody has any question? Do you understand me?
Prof, we just have a look and talk about this. It's unnecessary to write it down, right?
You have to write it down in a
Okay.
2 lines, 3 line, 4.
Should we send it to you or just keep it by
Yes,
ourselves?
I'll give you another Padlet link, and another page. Just give me 1 second. I'll create it right now.
Okay.
I'll give you the link right now, and then you can do it in your free time. Just give me 1 second. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Just give me a second. I've just created a place for you to write. I just need. All right, guys, I've created this page already. So basically you download the article Understanding Ethnography, which is given here. This one, download this, and then you answer the questions which I told you from my, oops, sorry. What's happening? Where is my? Sorry, I opened so many things on my page. I'm not able to move my screen. Okay. So read this article which is given here. And after you read this article, analyze the article and answer these questions over here. It's just the homework. When I give you homework, it's not compulsory. Again, you're all adults. I'm sharing this Padlet link also. Copy. Putting it in the group chat. So again, you can download it from the group chat before I finish the class. And then just analyze that.
Dr. Mayukh, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Can you put the Padlet link on 2 times? Might be easier to access.
Okay, I'll do that as well. I'll put it on the times after this class. You can download from there. So again, remember, if I give you any kind of homework, it is not compulsory. Again, I'm saying it's not compulsory. You are not degree or diploma students that I force you to do something. It's up to you if you want to do it. But if you do it, it's just going to give you an idea. So just read the introduction and the abstract and answer these questions in the Padlet. Also, the other Padlet is what's a qualitative researcher? Answer that one again if you want. Your first topic is due in week 3. Your second topic is due, second and third topic is due in week 5. And then your last topic is due in week 7. Everything is as a written essay. And in between, whenever we have some time, I will keep revisiting your main slide, the slide which you shared with me earlier today. And we will, where is it gone? I think I deleted. So the main slide which you shared with me, I will keep revisiting this and I will see your work and ask you questions based on whatever you've written here. So we can always discuss your work during our classes also. So again, like I told you, remember the time is up. From next class onwards, we will directly jump into the topic. Let me stop.